What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video.
Coming at you with another tutorial. We're going to be taking you through our top 3 current upper chest exercises for maximum growth. Stay tuned.
All right, guys, so to start off this workout, we opened up with incline barbell press on the Smith machine. Now, we prefer to do Smith machine just because it's a little more restricted, which allows us to really contract and feel the muscle moving the weight, as opposed to a barbell where there's a lot of room for error.
Absolutely. The injury prevention on this for me has been tremendous. I've had surgery on my left shoulder, and I've dislocated either shoulder a couple times. So this one allows a lot of stability. As you see here, I can really control the tempo on the way down, and I'm more kind of geared towards sculpting on this as opposed to really trying to hammer out a whole bunch of weight on this. You'll notice me and Robert don't really go that heavy on this because we're totally focused on controlling the eccentric. We're not heavily bouncing it off the chest. It's more of a regimented squeeze movement to put as much blood in the upper chest as possible.
Exactly. And as you can see, we're stopping about 2 inches before we hit the chest. Now, That's just due to limitations in our shoulder range of motion and our shoulder dexterity. As Jason mentioned, our shoulders are pretty jacked up. So you can opt in to touch your chest or opt out to touch your chest. It's kind of just based on feel.
Absolutely. And on the Smith as well, it's a very controlled movement and very minimized risk. You see I kind of retracted my scapula there just to ensure a maximum squeeze at the top. But you could see here, this is a really good exercise to incorporate for upper chest just due to the front delt activation as well. Pretty much every upper chest exercise is going to have a lot of front delt activation. So if you're doing a push-pull leg split, even on your shoulder day for your push, you could even incorporate some upper chest if it's a heavily lagging body part, just because you're going to get a lot of front delt activation along the way. Alrighty, guys, the next exercise you're going to be viewing here is incline cable flies. This is an exercise that we've incorporated for as long as I can remember. Phenomenal exercise. Subsequently, it's not only become my favorite upper chest movement, but I honestly would think it's become my favorite chest movement in general, aside from the just dumbbell bench, flat dumbbell bench. But the amount of injury prevention on this, and just the overall amount of squeeze that you get at the contraction of each and every rep is so methodical and so regimented. It's paid dividends in my upper chest growth. Me personally, upper chest is one of my weakest points. It was one of the hardest body parts that I had to develop. I always thought that I would never really get any type of upper chest growth as it became so minimal over the years. But being able to overload on this exercise as opposed to not being able to with an incline dumbbell just due to the possible injury that you could sustain, this one has paid dividends for me for sure.
Definitely. And we choose to do these on a cable as opposed to a standard dumbbell just because there's more resistance and control throughout the movement, during the eccentric and concentric phases of the exercise, which is really going to allow you to just maintain that mind-muscle connection and ensure that you're getting the utmost contraction and getting the most benefit out of this movement.
Absolutely. And you could see here, the stretch is very apparent, and I'm stopping at a certain point. There's usually like a 1-second pause to end the stretch, and there's usually a 1-second pause up top to finalize the contraction each and every rep. Usually go on this particular one. This is usually done either midway or towards the end of every push, usually first initial push workout of each week. So due to that, it's usually around the 10 to 15 give or take rep range on whatever set we're on.
Definitely. It's definitely an isolation exercise, but it's definitely an exercise that you can open up with early in the workout as well. Just make sure when you're trying to overload on this movement, keep those shoulders intact, keep your scapula retracted, and make sure you're not overstretching to where you're causing stress and just overall just like an excessive stretch in the front delt.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of front delt activation on this as well, similar to the incline Smith press. But this is my final set here. As you could see here, this is like our negative set. I think we went 30 on either side here. So I'm usually doing like a 4 count on the way down, 1-second pause, and then I'll do a contraction, 1-second contraction at the top following each rep. And as it's heavily pre-exhausted from the previous sets, this is a phenomenal set to finish on for sure.
Exactly. And as you can just notice, the way Jace controls the tempo of the exercise is just absolutely phenomenal. That's something that you should focus on and try to mimic when you're performing this exercise.
Definitely. The blood flow on this is fabulous as well. Definitely incorporate this exercise into your workouts.
All right, guys, so the last exercise is going to be cable flies, but from the bottom position on the cable. Now, this is really gonna help target that clavicular head or the upper chest, as this video is titled. And this is an exercise that we perform kind of as a finishing movement. The rep range is a little higher. It's about between 12 and 15, and really just emphasizing is pushing much blood into the muscle as possible, only because the upper chest is already pre-exhausted from your pressing movement, your incline fly movement, and now this is kind of just your finisher to just enhance muscle growth.
Absolutely. And this one's a little more difficult for me because it's one where the squeeze needs to be very regimented just to maximize the overall potential of this movement if executed properly. And I have very long arms, so that makes it it makes it a little difficult sometimes to target. But as you can see here, Rob's really controlling the tempo. He's waiting for that point in the stretch to where he knows to engage, and he's contracting with beautiful force at the top. And absolutely awesome.
As you can notice, my elbows aren't locked out. I keep my elbows slightly bent, and that's just going to help me alleviate stress on the joint and just make sure I'm putting all my effort and all force development into the upper chest and just really trying to drive hypertrophy.
Absolutely. And this is a fun one to drop set too. If you have a training partner that could toy with and drop either side of the cable for you, this one's phenomenal because it's very regimented and very safe. And as you can see here, I'm able to really contract and hold at the top, and I have a nice stretch. I think this was the final set, so I was going for about 15 to 18 reps, give or take, on this one. But you could see here my upper chest is super full from all three of these, going back to back to back like this. Phenomenal routine if you're looking to incorporate some upper chest growth.
All right, guys, that concludes our upper chest training tutorial video. Let us know what you guys think, and just really give this one a shot. We'll list all the sets, rep schemes, exercises down in the description below. Implement it into your routine and let us know in the comments how it does for you.
Appreciate all the love on our Instagram page, as well as those of you who've reached out through email. We appreciate everything. And huge shout out to Trent over at Jack Culture, Rockland, California. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome place to train during this time, awesome place to film, and the lighting in there is absolutely insane for the angles that me and Rob like to implement in these tutorials primarily. So thank you so much, and we look forward to training and filming there for years to come.
Yep. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Remember
to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.